welcome to the Precious Years, and today I wanted to show you guys what is inside our morning basket. And this, how it's set up right now, this was our morning basket for this week. And so I just wanted to show you, I have a lot of stuff in here, but we spend a good hour or so in here doing this before we get onto our desk time or our workbooks and our folders. So basically, every day I write them a message at night, and then they write me back. So they have that they do in the morning before I start reading with them. So they just know this, and so this is like mommy and our time. And it's a good way to keep memory, and it's a good way for them to kind of practice their writing. So they do that first because they really look forward to that. And then with this, we switch. This is something that I got for them to write something that they're grateful for, gratitude or any of that. So that's something we have here, as well as because it has a picture, they can sometimes draw based on what I'm reading to them. And then we start with our spiritual book, and then I also read to them a choice of fiction. So this week we chose The Adventures of Pinocchio. And then I read to them something that they might like, which is Meet Molly. And because it doesn't have much color, well, I guess it does, but I read this one to them as opposed to them reading it to themselves. Or sometimes they read it, but then I read it still. And then I read The Story of the World, and this is where we do most of our reading. So I finish the reading during our morning time, and during their desk time is when they do the activities. And I also do the first language lesson at that time as well, because most of it has so far been verbal, so there's really not much to write down. So we get done with this because it takes like 5 to 10 minutes to get that done. And while I read to them, like this is something that I picked up at Once Upon a Child, so they could play while I read to them. They could doodle. And then I make whatever I read varying, and that includes also science and math. So this week I read to them The Magic School Bus Inside a Hurricane because we almost got one so near us. So it was just a way to introduce them back to that. And then we also read Life of Fred. My oldest has already finished it, but because my youngest wasn't really into it last year, we're rereading it because this is not really our main curriculum. So, and that goes with that. Oopsie. And then this is like a book about money. And it's like a fun book, an easy read. So we do that. As well as a lot of the critical thinking books we do together. And then this is a nice little flip-up book about computers and coding, and we do that. We don't do all of them every day, but most of the read-alouds are done here. And these are some for my youngest. These are just some little gadgets to keep her hand busy. I have some pencils and pens and stuff, fun things for them, as well as puzzles, just to make sure that my youngest is occupied. And then I will be substituting this as well as other library books, but I want to have a poem book included as well, and a non-fiction book. But this is what I have that will go into next week's basket. So I have The Pirates Past Noon, a math masterpiece, and actually a focal art study, like something about art, I want to include as well. This is a math poetry. So I want to include some of these in there. This is a fables book, and these are short, so it's easy to read. These they can color as I read to them. And I really like these fun schooling journals. It's a fun way to kind of write because it's designed and colorful and ready to use. That's for 3 to 7, so that will be for my youngest, and this one will be for my oldest. So this is what is included in our morning basket, and this year we've spent a larger time doing the morning baskets. Then we move on to our desk time, and then we move on to kind of crafts and games time. And they do their independent reading, and from next week I'm thinking that we'll all read together, meaning everyone does independent reading, but I want to kind of get myself into reading as well, so I thought that would be a great time for me to read. I will do another sit-down video with our routines, maybe kind of written out to share with you guys how our day is naturally progresses from morning till evening time. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please give it a thumbs up so I know that to make similar videos in the future. And I would love to hear from you. I love your comments. I love reading them and getting to know you guys. So I would love to see some comments. And I will see you guys on our next video. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day. Happy homeschooling.